Hey there, everybody. Wait. I know you want to skip ahead to the video, but trust me, this is important. So, here recently, things have been kicking off on the Patreon. I mean, really, they have been just skyrocketing. So, we just want to let you all know, for that, when we hit 1,000...
Oh, that was messy. Well, so, as things were being said before, somebody didn't wait his turn, we have a Patreon. Yes, that's right, we have a Patreon. And it's been doing quite well. But you know what? It could always be doing better. Boy, that sounded conceited. But you know what? It's fine. So, there's goals on there for $1,000 a month and $2,000 a month. Also, early access to our videos, extra bonuses on our Discord. The benefits just keep coming, so go check it out. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to go practice medicine.
You remember the glory days of, the early 2000s?
I don't know that I'd call those glory days per se.
Well, there was some stuff that came out that, in early 2000s, especially, late 90s, early 2000s. It was the last breath of Generation X in the mainstream. And Generation X, in a lot of people's minds, went out with a bang. Some people say that they went out with an outright just sheer lack of influence. But I think the influence is still there, because you remember, this was way before we were able to truly remember it. The Batman movie that came out in 1989 was a very big hit.
It was, yes.
Very big hit. Had pretty good critical reception. I think it's got like a 75 on Rotten Tomatoes right now.
I mean, that's, considering how long it's been out, it's pretty good.
Well, yeah, and also considering comic book movies at the time were still suffering from like campiness and second-rate direction and all that.
Nobody was willing to take them seriously.
No. And then you had Batman come out in 1989 and blow the doors off of it. And pretty soon they were trying to make comic book movies a little bit more legitimate. But it was constantly mired in developmental hell. Like, so many directors wanted to change up the source material to fit their view, and the studios didn't like that. Yeah, I know.
Nicolas Cage Superman.
Yeah. So, okay. Funny enough, in the early 2000s, as a matter of fact, the year 2000, X-Men came out.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty good hit
Yeah.
in terms of how much they invested into it and how much they got back. 20th Century Fox was just like, okay, that's okay. We can make a franchise out of this. We can do that. And then development started on X-Men 2, or X2, X-Men United, which I think came out in 2003. Yeah, 2003. Well, between 2000 and 2005, there was a rush by every big movie company out there to buy up every single comic book property that they could.
It got stupid.
Yeah, it did. It got, Universal got in the mix. The only one that really didn't get into the mix early was Disney. And now they own, and now look at that. They got in late. It's because I think they saw the flaws that all the other film companies did.
Yep.
Because you look at what happened with the Spider-Man series. The Spider-Man series started on such a high note. $403 million at the box office.
Yep.
Almost $1 billion worldwide. And then Spider-Man 2 came out. Spider-Man 2 was very highly regarded as well.
Spider-Man 2 was definitely, it was better than Spider-Man 1 for sure.
No, I'll never doubt that. I thought it was much more well done. I thought the villain was more interesting.
And then we
got Spider-Man 3.
Yeah.
Which we've gone on record saying that if they would have done one thing different, if they would have taken out one of the villains, a lot of people would have voted to take out Sandman because...
No, but Sandman was...
No, I know. That's actually what Sam Raimi wanted. Sam Raimi wanted Spider-Man 3's main villain to be Flint Marko. He wanted Flint Marko, the Sandman, to be the main villain of Spider-Man 3. But studio dabbling was so bad and all that they just pretty much told him, you have to put Venom in this film. And he's like, but I don't want to. And then the film came out and it was a big cluttered mess. It was lacking in focus.
Yeah, I mean, it sort of showed that he didn't want to put Venom in.
Yeah.
And he had a pretty good reason.
Yeah, he did. But a lot of people have said that, you know, they should have took out Sandman and put in Venom. Now, here's the thing. There's I've heard both sides of the argument. Both sides of the argument make very valid points about keeping their choice villain in. If Sam Raimi would have had complete and total creative control, I think he would have kept Sandman in and would have saved Venom for later. And
yeah, I would have saved Venom for 4.
I would have as well.
100%.
I would have had, you know, I'd have shown Eddie Brock in Spider-Man 3. I'd have shown him and also have him and Peter go head to head in a more
professional
setting. And lo and behold, Peter finds out that, you know, that he did digital photography and made Spider-Man look like a villain. And then he confronts Eddie about this and tells Eddie that he's going to tell Jameson about it, and he's going to get fired.
Yeah.
And then Eddie gets fired. And how the movie should have ended was it should have ended with him in a church. Actually, this should have been an after credit sequence.
Oh yeah, yeah.
An after credit sequence.
Yeah.
Him sitting in the church praying to God.
Oh man.
And then all of a sudden he hears something and he looks up and he's like, Peter Parker. And then the symbiote starts oozing down very slowly. He doesn't see it, and then it latches onto his arm, goes up his arm, and then he's down on the ground. And then the film ends with, you know, the suit taking over him, and then he looks up and that gigantic zoom in on the mouth eating the camera. That would have been the proper way to end it. I would have had also hints of the Mars mission that brought the symbiote back throughout the entire film. That's what I would have done. That if you wanted to have Sam Raimi have his way, but yet set it up for Venom later, that's what you could have done.
It's like J.K. Simmons. I can just picture him delivering this like, what? You think I got time for this today? My son's coming back from Mars.
Yeah.
What do you want from me? That's a terrible J.K. Simmons, but you know where I'm going.
You think I've got time for this? My son's coming back from Mars. I don't have time for this.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
It's much better than mine. But so everything wrong with Spider-Man.
Yeah. This one has all been leading up to.
This one, it's got the middle list, I think. Because two I feel like has a shorter list.
Yeah, much shorter.
3,
the list goes on. 3, the list is has multiple pages.
Oh, like that list. That's one of those lists where you're going like, man, I got to be somewhere in an hour. Do we have time for this?
The list is just like you're reading down, like yeah. Good Lord, how many pages are there? It's like, oh, that's just the first. That's just the first stack. You should see this one. You look over, and then there's like a whole table full, like up to here. It's just like, oh, come on.
And of course, you know, you're flipping through this list, and you're like, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I remember that. Oh, I had blocked that from my memory. Oh, I'm so
Why
mad
did you
now.
remind me of that?
Yeah. Why have you brought this back upon me? Anyway.
Okay,
we need to watch the thing.
Okay, before,
this is
we'll
what
talk
happens
about it
when
after.
Micah's not here.
Yeah. When Mike is not here, things can get pretty haywire pretty fast.
Oh yeah, we don't shut up.
We can't stop ourselves.
I don't know
It's
how long we're
impossible.
into the video. I feel like we've been on for 10 minutes and we haven't started the video.
You want to cry? 16 minutes.
Ah!
Actually, I thought you were going to cry, but no, laughter. That's good. Okay, here
Anyway.
we go. Cinema Sins, everything wrong with Spider-Man in 11 minutes or less. Here we go.
We've been talking longer than this video. What the hell?
That's what we do, man.
I remember seeing this in the theaters.
Yes.
It was...
Who am I? You sure you want to know? We haven't even met yet.
What's missing?
How did this asshole get out? Genetic super spider builds drunken web.
Right?
I guess the researchers are working on that one.
Because that's what they do when they remove spiders. Instead of taking the little glass box thing that they're in for easy transport, they scoop them out with a mason jar and then go do research on them.
Parker, let's do it.
F***ing genetically enhanced spider bit my f***ing hand. I know where your missing spider is. You think maybe I should get fuck it. Helpful Science Museum screen gives tidy rundown of the powers Peter Parker will now receive.
Yep.
Also, Sony product placement in a Sony movie. Come on, guys, stop double dipping.
Ooh,
Who will
I
soon
didn't even
become
notice
accidental
that.
Supervillain conveniently already working on supervillainy things prior to the transformation.
Violence, aggression, and insanity.
You diagnosed insanity in a rat?
Norman, the General gave the go-ahead to Quest Aerospace to build a prototype of their exoskeleton design.
Because that's what we normally do in situations like this. Tell you exactly where your money is going if you fail and who you can get revenge on later.
I'm already on my ass, mate. When the plant's senior electrician is laid off...
And exposition.
...for 35 years.
Yep.
What would you call it?
Holy clunky exposition, Batman. Funhouse mirror Tobey Maguire. Guy who will soon become an accidental superhero, conveniently already making drawings and doodles of superhero-y things. Large,
Wow.
Spider Bite was not
Wow.
in hand when he came home, conveniently disguised so that his aunt and uncle couldn't see it, I guess. Also, these symptoms waited all day to manifest until Peter got home.
During a thunderstorm.
Convenient audio flashback handholds the audience through the complicated fact that Peter's bite from a super spider is affecting him.
Yeah, we got
Nolan
this.
Osborn may be a genius, but he's still like, what, 50 years behind Stanley Tucci's scientist from Captain America in the area of super soldier serum research.
Yeah, everybody was. Everybody will be forever. That's the point.
I mean, if you just give me 2 weeks.
It takes 2 weeks to get that kind of staff? That's just long enough to be pointless. Scientist running out of time and funding tests his theories on himself cliche.
Yeah, that's about right.
Wait, was that one of the abilities the helpful screen told us about? Because I don't see amazing vision on this list.
Huh.
I guess you can't have a superhero with glasses or contacts. That would just be stupid. Stalking. There's no black Mustang in front of this bus in this shot, but in the next shot, somehow one arrives ahead of the bus.
Strong's dead.
Yeah.
I found his body this morning in the lab.
Unfortunately, billion-dollar defense contractor Oscorp has no cameras or sight sign-in security features to determine who might have been at the lab at the time of Dr. Strom's death.
That's
Using
fair.
some kind of danger
That's
cliche.
very fair.
Mary Jane just happens to slip right in front of Peter so we can see some of his new abilities. Also, everything that lands on this tray just sticks there without bouncing or obeying any of the laws of motion, because spider powers can also change scientific principles.
Yep.
Nobody fucking notices this.
Yeah.
The authorities in this school are all outside smoking right now, apparently. Before Peter punches Flash, the crowd circle is completely closed in around him. But when he punches him, Flash goes flying, there's an instantaneous large gap for him to fly through. But in all honesty, Harry and MJ should be smashed like bowling pins.
Yep.
Rubber Peter.
Yep.
Sony saved
Yeah.
approximately $2,000 by reusing the same POV shot over the laundry alley twice within 7 seconds.
Yep.
Nobody fucking notices this. Amateur wrestling ad offers the right amount of money that Peter needs to buy a shitty car.
Correct.
I've seen amateur wrestling adverts, and they are playing nowhere near
Aunt May
$3,000.
has webs all over the fucking place for some reason. Aunt May should totally have been able to see all these webs right here.
Yeah.
Correct.
So that lamp he just destroyed is back on the shelf.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Correct.
Fights at school? I didn't start that fight.
Did Peter get in trouble for that fight? I don't recall any teachers or authority figures within a 10-mile radius.
That's actually not true.
Okay, we're
let's-
going back. We're going back. Bye.
Let's
See you
see
in the
right
back.
here.
In all honesty, Harry and MJ should be smashed like bowling pins.
Yeah. I don't think that guy's a student.
No, if he is a student, then
Is this that? Is that Steve Buscemi bit where he's like, "Hello, fellow students,"
probably
like that? Like that
maybe
bit?
I don't know.
Probably that.
But
bit.
that's a teacher right there. So that's an authority figure.
That's a teacher or a guy who decided to wear a tie that I'm pretty sure doesn't match his shirt. Like pink tie, purple shirt. I don't think that works.
It could be confused as beige as well. You could see that. I could see that from a distance as beige.
No, but the school walls are kind of a beige. Anyway, sorry.
All right, so back to where we
Yeah.
were. Let's see.
Here we go.
Okay, right here.
Trouble for that fight? I don't recall any teachers or authority figures within a 10-mile radius of that fight. I guess all that happened
I mean,
off-screen,
nobody
but on-screen,
stopped
no one
it.
gave a shit.
And I know I'm not
Eh.
your father. Then stop pretending to be.
You're not my father.
Bam.
cliché.
Oh,
She
that
uses
one's gonna
the
come
only
back.
uses
That
verbal
one-
consent instead of actual legal signed consent.
Hello,
Uh-huh.
Octavia Spencer.
Did your husband give it to you?
That's racist. Jesus, really? They actually want to.
Gay is not a race.
I would also point out that this wrestling bigwig guy should totally remember and recognize Peter once Spider-Man hits the news. But again, they didn't take his signature or even his name. So Robert decides the amateur wrestling operation. That's where I'll make my score.
What the hell's the matter with you? You let him go!
Cop reprimands citizen for not doing cop's job.
Stay back.
Petty thief randomly shoots and kills Uncle Ben out of all the people in New York City. Just a question, are there any superhero movies where the hero's parents or guardians don't die? car crash head-on into a steel gate does nothing to hurt the driver. The robber lost his gun here.
Wonder
That's
Woman.
why he pulled out this stupid knife, but then when
'Cause
Peter
they
kicks him,
truthfully
he
never
suddenly has a gun
existed.
again.
Well-
Also, this must have surprised him too, because he doesn't even use it on Spider-Man with a clear shot. The police, who were right on this f***er's tail when he arrived at this abandoned building, take forever to find him, allowing Peter to have his revenge. Peter
Deadpool.
remembers this wrong. Bullshit pipe causes thief to trip and fall through a window so that morally Spider-Man gets his vengeance but didn't straight up kill a guy. The NYPD called on a cop boat to help take down one asshole. Nobody bothered to call Aunt May during all this?
My father got the place in New York, so we're all set this fall.
Odd choice of words. Aren't you already in New York? Or are you doing that Martin Scorsese thing in Quiz Show where Queens is not New York? Unwanted touch. in this shot,
Most
but
people
not so touchy-feely
assume
in
that
the next
New York
shot.
is
This
Manhattan,
photo
so
copy-pastes 8 lines of the story from the left column to the right, because no one at Sony had time to write more than a total of 15 lines for the fake news article.
That's
Also,
Wow.
John Young-
That's so
wasn't
bad.
it John Young in the last article? NYPD fired their spokesperson over this Spider-Man shit? Damn.
He stinks, and I don't like him.
Thank you,
Every
Jim
day
Norton.
YouTube commenter. He's
Ha!
taking notes now. What is he, Iron Monkey?
We sold out 4 printings.
Dude trying to convince obvious
Guy with
bottom-line
8
motivated
hands.
guy the front page
Sounds
story is
hot.
good waits until the very end to drop his best piece of evidence. Also, we in the audience get to spend a few more seconds in the ADHD funhouse that is J. Jonah Jameson's newspaper office.
I mean, we get to spend a
Even
few
though
more
Mary
seconds
Jane
with
left
the
diner
best
quite a
character in
while
this
ago and
movie.
was out of sight,
yeah,
her
no
asshole
doubt.
boss somehow expected to see her standing out here and give this embarrassing ultimatum in front of Peter.
Maybe you'll tell me who she is.
Norman plays the pronoun game so that Peter has to ask who the hell he's talking to. Peter gives away his identity with a series of photographs so good, so varied, and so up close and personal that even a child
stinks.
would know that only Spider-Man himself could have taken them.
Yep.
Geez, a movie with this much CGI can't bother to remove the ING Lion logos from the Oscorp building?
Wow. I never even noticed that.
See, this is what happens when you book a music act for your movie immediately after their debut single, but before actually waiting to see if they'll be a long-lasting star or just fade back into musical obscurity. I mean, honestly, at this point, Macy Gray is probably more well-known for being in this movie than for that Try to Say Goodbye and I Choke song, right? Peter starts taking
That's
pictures
fair.
for no reason at all and somehow lands on Harry and Mary Jane. Then Harry spots Peter in the crowd below. That's some sinful bullshit right there.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Revenge on the Oscorp people, but is he so mad that he'll potentially bomb his son, too?
Yes.
Mary Jane isn't some kind of danger cliche. What's the bigger sin? The terrible aim of the high-tech next-gen glider and its pilot, or the fact that no random citizens were harmed during this machine gun chase?
Both.
Subway bandits
I'm
strike
going with
again.
the...
Where was Spider-Man during that shit?
You should know I'm crazy about her.
I'm,
It's just, you know, you
I'm
never
going
made
with
a move.
no random
Bro
citizens
code
harmed.
violation in all 50 states, fucker.
Yeah,
I guess
that's a bro
Peter's
code
Spidey sense
violation.
just took a day off, didn't it?
Who's the photographer who takes the pictures of Spider-Man?
So Peter gets money for taking pictures of Spider-Man, but he's not credited in the paper for taking them?
Nope.
No, that actually happens a lot more than you think.
Geez, we're only in the first movie and the villain is already trying to team up with someone.
Or we
Yeah.
could destroy, cause the deaths of countless innocents in selfish battle again and again and again until we're both dead.
Or you could just kill Spider-Man now.
That's
Yeah.
true.
It allows time for Spider-Man to think about teaming up rather than demanding an answer now, which would make the decision to kill him a lot easier should he say no.
They said I needed acting lessons.
Urge to make snarky remark so strong right now.
Oh.
75 New York City decides to assault Mary Jane. Mary Jane isn't some kind of danger cliche. Suddenly turned into the best movie ever. Seriously?
Dang it.
Shut
No
up.
time for the mask at all? Also, wait a minute. He clearly had the mask on when he was on the rooftops a minute ago.
Yeah.
I guess he lost it? Masks are always just slipping off people's faces these
Wow.
days. Look, maybe it's
Especially
an alley so
skin-tight
dark that you
masks
can't
like
see
that.
faces. Maybe it's not. All I know is there appear to be a lot of street lamps on around here, and MJ should totally see Peter's face right now. Man, he managed to put that mask on more quickly than he lost it.
You have a knack for getting in trouble.
Mary Jane doesn't recognize Spider-Man's obvious Peter.
Yes!
Yeah.
Does not contain an upside-down lap dance.
Damn it.
Okay, so what were the responsible adults who were watching the baby doing when the building caught fire? Special effects are special. Did this need to be a surprise? Why didn't Green Goblin just fly around the city and...
Plus, you could tell it was him turned around because the
Also,
ears
Oh,
were like
yeah.
out to here
New
when
York
his
City
back
right
was
now.
turned.
Green Goblin took a risk that the subway bandits wouldn't be striking again at this hour.
That's such a cheese line.
What the hell is this? Green Goblin threw a bomb earlier that turned people into skeletons. Not to mention those...
Oh,
other
yeah.
detectives
Smash
just
cut to
plain
a police
explode
right
bombs
skeleton.
before.
Boom.
The
Down
greatest
Tramp's
punchline
face,
ever.
Goblin throws this bull. Look, I'm sorry. Peter should have caught the blood drop, and probably could have done it too.
Yeah.
Does he need both hands and both feet to stick to this ceiling? Probably not.
No.
As it is, the blood drops to the floor, Norman hears it, and now we're supposed to swallow the fact that Peter ran across the ceiling, out the window, and underneath the balcony without making one noise. Green Goblin failed to remove Spider-Man's mask earlier in the film when he kidnapped him so that we could enjoy this scene of realization finally kicking in. and also to add about 20 minutes to the total runtime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Horrible yellow eyes.
Aunt May says just enough before Peter is thrown out to give him all the info he needs.
You're not Superman, you know.
DC Comics.
Ah!
Mary Jane is in some kind of danger cliche.
God.
Damn it.
I, the woman you love, or
Suffer the little children.
We interrupt the Spider-Man movie to bring you the hero has to choose moment from Batman Forever.
Yep.
I mean, this is actually in the comics.
It is.
Most convenient barge in the history of barges. Well, that took forever. Also,
Well.
Green Goblin wastes everyone's time, including the audiences, by not having some bombs ready for this scenario.
Yeah.
Oh, bullshit already. She's not Spider-Man, right? Someone has amazing timing and aim to hit the Goblin.
I was gonna say she should at least have like a dislocated shoulder to make it a little more believable.
New Yorkers band together in a crisis cliche. Finally. Oh, okay. One more bomb, right? One more bomb. Oh, you're gonna monologue now, aren't you? Spider-Man
You got me
shows strength that
monologuing.
He did not show through this entire fight because Green Goblin threatened MJ. Villain's arm thrusts through the rubble and or nuclear waste cliche. As we watch Goblin summon his glider into this mess, I start wondering, where is that sleeping potion he used earlier? Fuck, that was a good weapon.
Yeah.
Godspeed, Spider-Man.
Dude, this is like the millionth time you've opened your mouth and let Spider-Man live.
Oh.
Even though Goblin's glider was clearly shown to have been within inches of his face, he's still allowed to say "oh" for laughs before the glider warps back into the screen. Norman Osborn just happens to get buried in the same cemetery as Ben Parker.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, that is
Right,
weird.
because you recognize the kiss, but not the voice. That completely makes sense.
Words fail me right
I
now,
feel like
dude.
that number's too low.
Ready?
They did not. Now, we are going to have a very important conversation after this.
Wait.
Salesman, computer engineer, computer analyst. My lord, even the computers need analysts these days.
Oh, they have the internet on computers now.
Damn it!
Really?
Damn it! That's a good reference.
Yeah.
That's a good cut.
Tommy, how's the peeping?
Tommy.
How's the peeping?
How's the peeping?
Donald Redberry shot himself
Thank
in 1980. Charles Boyer, 1978. Pills again. Charles Butterworth, 1946, I think. In a car. Supposedly it was an accident, but you know, he was distraught. Dorothy Dandridge, pills, 1965. Albert Decker, 1968. Hung himself. He wrote his suicide note in lipstick on his stomach.
He is the one.
I know Kung Fu.
Friend. You don't have any friends.
That's actually good.
How strange. There's nobody here.
That's a deep cut.
Brilliant men are.
Most brilliant men. Oh, yeah. Yeah, he could have caught that. Easily.
Yeah.
Could have caught that
That's
easily.
a deep cut.
Yeah.
But, all right, so
Go ahead. Go ahead.
they brought up some sins with the best character in this movie.
J.
J.
Jonah
Jonah
Jameson.
although none directly targeting him.
No. Just his wheelhouse in which
Yeah.
he
Uh,
works.
But they also didn't target at all the second best character in this movie. Bonesaw.
Yeah, well,
Bonesaw's the. Oh.
Bonesaw is arguably
Man.
because when I saw it was Randy Savage,
Yeah, and you're just like, huh?
I was like this is so silly that it works. It's
Yeah.
so good. And I for one have said this in the past. I've said that oh shit. Sorry about that. I've said that that sometimes that we watch these years after they come out. Let's see, when did this come out?
This
was
one came out in 2014.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
this is only 2 years after Randy Savage.
Yeah.
I think after Randy Savage died. So maybe they still felt that they couldn't really say anything, or maybe they thought that everything that they did on him was awesome.
I mean, honestly, like, yeah, it was ridiculously cheesy, but if you think about it,
Dangerously cheesy.
so was Macho Man.
Well, of
Like,
course.
that's a dangerous thing to say, and I recognize that.
No.
But
Macho Man was an enigmatic, crazy person that just so happened to look like a Greek god whenever he was like in the ring.
Macho Man is somebody writing a character, another person looking at that character and saying, that is ridiculous and it's never going to work. And then the first guy going, oh yeah, I'll show you. And then we get Macho Man and it's brilliant.
Yeah, well, everybody said that, well, when Heath Ledger said that how he was going to portray the Joker, a lot of people thought that's not a good idea, man. Yeah, because it hadn't been seen before and people couldn't visualize it. People couldn't bring it to light. People couldn't bring it to life the way he did, and he did. Same thing with Jack Nicholson. The way Jack Nicholson played. You know, Jack Nicholson, you know, everybody talks, you know, blesses Heath Ledger out with all his, you know, with all his great performance with it and everything.
I mean,
and people forget Jack Nicholson.
Nicholson did a damn good job.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I feel that to me, there will not, until I see them brought to life, I do not think there will ever be another J. Jonah Jameson like there was with J.K. Simmons.
J.K. Simmons has stated, if the role pops up, call him.
Yeah.
Like, he said that.
I'd love to see him.
He has said, I'll do it again. I want to do it again. Let me play 3J again. Let me do this.
And there are people out there who say, but wait, if you're Jim Gordon in the Batman universe,
who cares?
Then why can't you? I'm like, okay, here's my rebuttal to that. Josh Brolin is playing both Thanos and Cable.
Now
that's a Marvel. Now, why not two separate universes that have friggin' J.K. Simmons in it? Why not?
Johnny Storm and Captain America are both Chris Evans.
Exactly. Same thing. It's ridiculous. People who make that argument, it's just like, if the man is good at what he does, why not let him play the parts?
Yeah.
J.K. Simmons is awesome.
Yeah,
He's such a great actor.
J.K. Simmons is just out there having fun.
Yeah. That, as actors should. Actors shouldn't be like, look, how actors are in their head, the whole thing with, you get the whole Kanye West thing where he farts in a microphone and it's art. We're supposed to take it as art, and if we criticize it, we don't know what we're talking about. Actors have said in the past, like Bryan Cranston has said in the past, he's like, everything I've done that's led up to me doing this, I'm proud of. It's just like when he did Power Rangers, when he was like so young.
Oh yeah.
And he also did anime voiceovers. He actually did like Macross Plus. He voiced Isamu Dyson in Macross Plus years and years and years ago, and he's proud of that. He's proud of the work that he's done. But and he stands by it, and he's like, yeah, I was a kid. I mean, honestly, I didn't know what I was doing at some points.
Now, that said, a lot of Bryan Cranston's best work has been done in roles where he's just randomly in his underwear. Case in point.
Breaking Bad.
Yeah,
which...
He had some great moments in Malcolm in the Middle, not wearing any pants.
Well, he has no... Well, for one, he has no shame, and...
Clearly.
He loves doing stuff that will pseudo-embarrass him, but he actually doesn't give a shit.
The fact of the matter is, you don't do stuff like that unless you're having fun.
Yeah, he is having fun.
Or being paid a lot of money.
Well, he was doing it before he was getting paid, like, a lot of money.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. And by getting paid a lot of money, you mean, like, some actors or actresses who go in the buff because, hey, the money's right. Which actually on Game of Thrones, that's a thing. I remember years ago, after like the third season, Emilia Clarke said, "Yeah, I've signed a contract saying that I will no longer do nude scenes." Yeah, you've done them since, girl, and the reason why she did it was because they did a contract renegotiation, and her salary went from, I think it was like $200,000 per episode to $1.1 million per episode. Not just her, but the main five. That includes Peter Dinklage, Lena Headey, Nikolai Coster-Waldau, Kit Harington, and her.
I mean, to be fair though, if you lose one of them, your show's screwed.
Yeah,
You've got to hold on to them.
Yeah, because after the third or fourth season, we had, there were characters that we all rooted for. There was Rob, and then there was Catelyn. For those of you who haven't watched the show yet or haven't read the books,
I think in a lot of cases we're past some spoiler season.
I think we are. We are.
That said, let's not go any further, except to say that there are characters we like who are no longer on the show.
Yeah, and
because dead.
But you have to see that the show, which a lot of people thought was going to be built around Sean Bean in the beginning.
Yeah, they clearly don't know Sean Bean's career.
Exactly. And a lot of people thought, oh, this guy will be there forever, or this person will be there for. Nope.
Dead.
Dead. Because they found out they found their central actors that they knew that they could build a show around because of their popularity, because of their social media, social media following and all that. I mean, the nothing Jon Snow meme, how far has that gone?
Oh, it blew up.
I know. And
it continues to blow up to this day.
Yeah, and it's never ending. And I love that. I love that, and that's why those people get paid the big bucks, is because of their interaction that they receive online is so massive. And that's why, once again, you're seeing these massive salaries being thrown out there, like Robert Downey Jr.'s way and Scarlett Johansson's way and all that, is because people gravitate towards them because of their social media interactions and just their overall magnetic personalities.
Yeah,
and
honestly, even, let's take those two out of the equation. Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah, Mark freaking Ruffalo. And also Colby Smulders. Oh,
dude.
You also have the smaller characters that aren't in the films as much, but I'll be damned if their influence is not felt, and even after you haven't seen him in 3 or 4 films.
Now we're picking up Martin Freeman.
Yes, we're picking up
Martin Freeman, who basically just plays himself in every movie.
Yeah, he just throws on a different accent.
No, every movie I've ever seen Martin Freeman in, I'm just like, oh, that's just Martin Freeman. He's not doing a bit. That's just Martin Freeman.
Well, it's just like we saw him in Captain America: Civil War. That was Martin Freeman.
That was just,
but with an American accent.
Yeah. Watson. It's just Martin Freeman.
Yeah.
In Arthur Dent in Hitchhikers.
Yeah, that was just
Martin Freeman.
Friggin' Hot Fuzz.
Yeah, just Martin Freeman. Bilbo Baggins. It's just Martin Freeman.
World's End, just Martin Freeman.
Martin Freeman's not putting on a character.
Oh God!
There is a movie that you need to see. It's Bill Nighy, Rupert Grint, Martin Freeman.
Name of the film?
Oh, they're assassins. Let me check.
I think I've heard about it, but there's another one. There's another one that came out. It was It doesn't have Martin Freeman in it.
Wild Target is the name of the movie.
Okay, Wild Target.
You need to see that movie. It's fantastic.
But it's
ridiculous.
There's a film that came out. It featured Domhnall Gleeson, Bill Nighy, and Rachel McAdams. And it was Bill Nighy told Domhnall Gleeson. I've actually probably told you about this.
Mm-hmm.
Bill Nighy pulls his Domhnall Gleeson, his son, into a room and says, "Son, I have something to tell you. I'm a time traveler." And no. I was like, okay, where's this going? And he's like, first off, what you need to do is realize this. We have a limited amount of time to go back and forth. Once we're past a point, we're not able to go back. And he's like, okay. And what you need to do, son, is you need to go into this closet. You need to go into a closet. Imagine the point in time you wish to go back to.
Oh, About Time is the movie.
Yes, that's it. And it's actually pretty good. It also has Margot Robbie in it, and actually, to me, I think probably one of the most hilarious. It almost functioned. Okay, I can tell you this part. Her and Domhnall Gleeson, at first they're in a very long-term relationship. Everything's working out just fine and all that, and then eventually she tells him, "I'm sorry, but it's not working out." So you know what he does? He goes into the closet, goes to the first moment they met, and he's like, "Hello, how are you? It's nice to meet you. All right. So who's this over here?" And just moves on from her. It's a suit. It's like It's one of the most funny breakups ever because they had all this time together and he
Oh,
remembers it, but she will never.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
It's hilarious and I love it. It also goes back to like the first time he had sex and he's just like they're like laying in bed beside each other and he's like and she goes, everyone's first time is not always the best. And he's like, yeah. Goes into a closet, goes back again. Next thing you know, they're both like splayed out on the bed, like expended all their energy. And she's like, you sure this is your first? And she's like, you know what they say about first times, right? And he goes, amateurs. Some of the best stuff, dude. It's hilarious and it's so good.
You can do time travel for really serious,
yeah,
gotta save the universe, or you could just play time travel for total comedy, and it's brilliant.
Well, it's a dramedy. There's drama involved, and it works. It's very effective drama. It's not quite melodrama as like The Time Traveler's Wife, which that's actually the joke that people made. Is like Rachel McAdams. What is it with her and time traveling lovers? I don't get it.
Next thing you know, she'll be showing up on Doctor Who. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Woo!